Here's the dealio. The dealio, banana peelio. Not only did we leave the bread on the table, but there was a stick in the bread and the pudding and the Bill Cosby and the baby. I don't know. Anyway, enough about sticks and breads and pudding and baby. On to Animal Man. Which may or may not have something to do with the stick and the bread and the pudding and the baby. Now, Animal Man was very reminiscent of, it was very reminiscent of Last Days of Animal Man. This particular issue was very reminiscent of Last Days of Animal Man. The other Animal Man, the start of Animal Woman. I have them both here. The start of Animal Woman. That you get to see the beginning of Swamp Thing. You get to see the very, very beginning of Swamp Thing and the quote-unquote Swamp Thing invasion. You get to see that. You get to see it was just cool. The Swamp Thing invasion. Animal Man's daughter says, "This is the future, haven't you figured it out yet?" And it's like, yeah, but this particular issue, the Red Thunder, he was very reminiscent of what happens to Animal Man in Last Days. He's kind of losing his kids. He's very Last Days. Very kind of foreshadowing of what is to come if Buddy doesn't do his job right. That's what I got out of this. That if Buddy doesn't do his job, then and only then does Last Days occur. In both issues, they're kind of saying, if Buddy doesn't do his job. You don't get to see the rest of the movie. Maybe someday they'll show you what happens to the Red Thunder. Because, you can't just leave the guy in a hospital bed. Maybe someday they'll show you what happens, but for now you just get, you get left hanging. You get that. You get this. You get, oh, heroes don't die, and it's buffering, and you don't get to see the whole movie. So maybe someday in the near future I'll show you the whole movie. I don't know. Yeah. Speaking of the whole show, Resurrection Man. Things finally come full circle for Resurrection Man in this book. he finally, one of the gentlemen that worked with him on the project that he works on, invades, and the book finishes with him deciding that he has to look who Mitch Shelley is, who that veteran from Iraq is. That's how the book finishes. And you're going to find out who I'm assuming before issue 9 who Mitch Shelley is and why Mitch Shelley does the stuff Mitch Shelley does. Also, we had a new one this week. It was and is Batwing. Batwing. The Steel of the Batman universe. Steel was... Yeah.
Wow.
He's the Steel of the Batman universe. That's it. That's all I got from this book. It was awesome, but if you read The Outsiders a couple years back, you know how it's gonna end. Sorry, kids. You already know how it's going to end. Remember when they got the clone of Jay Garrick, and it was during 1 year later, the clone of Jay Garrick, and they were invading the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Outsiders forced this man, which was protected under the Luther administration, with their quote-unquote big stick. To step down. And once he stepped down, they had one of my favorite lines in the whole book. If you so much as think about giving anyone a bad haircut in your country, we will know. We will know. And they will be protected under the Luther administration laws. I mean, that's basically how this is going to end. Regardless of how it starts and finishes, it will end by issue 9 with the Luther administration doing something, yeah. And they will say, oh, I don't know. This guy was a fine credit to, I don't know, but he was a fine credit to the Luther administration. Yeah, it's gonna end similar to how the Outsiders ended. That they couldn't exactly touch the guy in Congo. They couldn't exactly touch the guy in Congo. And yeah, right. So that's how that's gonna end. I like this book, but it has a. I'm gonna read the next issue, but just to see if it has the Outsiders in it. Will it have the Outsiders in it? It already has Nightwing. Will it have the Outsiders in it? I don't know. Yeah. Could they do that? You betcha. I think this is gonna. Well, I think this is going to be, because of, well, general things going on. I think it's going to be one of my. It's going to be one of my final, well, videos for a while again. I was really hoping to get back on the horse this time, but looks like I can't get back on the horse because this time you can blame, well, I don't know. Sorry. Mickey, if you're watching this, pal, don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. Stay in school. Like I said, respect. Respect those in power. And always know. Yeah. So, till next time, whenever that's gonna be. Hopefully soon. Thanks for letting me into your homes. Bye. Alright, thank you, nice people.